This is ABC Radio Melbourne.
Have you ever had to digitise a document? You know, you have to take out the staples, smooth out the paper, make sure each page is lined up and it scans clearly. Well, imagine doing that to the files of the Australian Defence Force, not just for the last couple of months or even year, but going back to the 1970s. The ADF has set itself the task of a massive digitisation project, and it's called in Ability Works to help. Ability Works employs people with a disability, including our guest this afternoon, Michael Buxton, who joins us along with Sharon Harnett from Defence Archives. Michael Buxton and Sharon Harnett, hello.
Hello. Hi, Ali.
Hey, Sharon, first to you, a massive project, 50 years of records.
Yes, it is. It is quite what we describe as probably a little bit aggressive project. It's something that is quite a large scope, and it's going to take us quite some time to tackle.
You're not wrong. I would have thought that's an understatement, actually. Michael, so you're doing the work. Tell us about it. What do you have to do?
What I had to do is focus the stare on the document. I'll put it all together, read through, and have a look at the documents. So that's the people's surnames, and list them on a piece of paper, label them, staple them, and then scan them.
And Michael, I understand you've got a really special family connection to the Defence Forces.
That's right. The history of all the generations of Buxtons, not including me, but my dad, and also his father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather who served in the war, and also my brother, Ian.
Does that make a difference when you're doing this work? Like, does it make you feel differently about it?
Feel differently, yeah.
So, Sharon, when we talk about records, what records are we referring to? What are you actually trying to preserve?
So, in Defence Archives, we've got about 130 kilometres of records, and we're really focusing at the moment on half of those, which are Australian Defence Force members, ex-members' records. And that includes personnel records, which contains information about their career, their postings, anything that they've done, including promotions throughout their career. It also includes health records, psychological records, conduct records, training records, and as you can imagine, there's all sorts of other types of other records in the mix as well.
And when you say 130 kilometres, you mean if you lined up all the bits of paper?
Yes.
And the sort of stuff that you're talking about there, some of it's pretty personal. I assume that there's privacy issues around this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, obviously we take that very seriously, and there are privacy implications, and we put in a lot of processes around the people that we engage and the companies that we engage to undertake this work, so that the records are treated with obviously the respect and the privacy that they deserve.
And who will be able to access the digital files once it's completed?
So if you are an ex-member, then you can ask us for copies of your records, or your organisation on your behalf can ask for copies of the records with your permission, of course. And we do have members of families asking for records, but you need to be able to obviously show that you have a legal and legitimate purpose for those records and that you're entitled to them. And if that's the case, then we'd be more than happy to provide them to those who ask for them.
Michael, how long have you been doing this project so far?
Actually, I did take a lot of practice to be involved with the project. I think it's maybe 2 years, I think.
Wow. And do you reckon it's going to take you at least another 2 years?
I'm not too sure, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. See how it goes on the project we're doing at the moment. And there are like a few people who's working on the case right now. So,
I reckon, Michael, that you'll need a few people. Sharon, it's incredibly important, isn't it, that these records are kept in a way that they will survive the future?
Yeah, look, absolutely. You know, we do have about 43,000 requests a year come into us for these records, and that's just increasing over time. So it's really important for us to be able to look at the records where they're located and make sure they're safe and secure. You know, physical records are subject to risks such as fire, flood, vermin, mould. All those things are risks. By digitising, we are able to make sure that, these records are available for many people for generations to come.
Well, we wish you all the best. There's no question you've bitten off a rather large chunk of a job there. But Sharon, thank you for telling us about it. And Michael, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you.
And that was Michael Buxton and Sharon Harnett. It is an extraordinary program and undertaking that they have embarked on. When you think about it, that is a huge number of files to digitise, but incredibly important work. Let's get a check of the news headlines.